Alrighty then. Hello everybody and welcome to Learning Five's final match for EU. We have the tournament completed for the most part. This is the last match. It's going to be a best of three. My name is Napiria and I'm joined here by Epic Death Guy. How you
Hey
doing?
there, guys. I am doing swell. Hit Diamond 3 today. What a wonderful
There we
day.
go. Not quite
Alright.
going to see that level of play here, but, we might get some surprises coming out.
Well, actually, I would say that there's probably going to be a higher level of play, as the average for both of these teams is Gold 4, and they probably have much better synergy than my solo queue teams.
One would hope. One would certainly hope at this point in the season, because it's been 5 weeks total. 4 weeks of show matches, then this is the 5th week. So hopefully they'll have developed some synergy. We see some fairly standard bans coming out. It looks like Don't Ban Jhin is kind of focusing on jungle bans this time around, which is interesting.
Yeah, so we see the Kha'Zix and Graves come out, and those were very... I think that the Kha'Zix ban is good, as Saucy1, the jungler for Los Ninos Gatti, is a Kha'Zix main. Graves is kind of his a pick he's been spamming a lot more recently, so that's another takeaway ban. But there's a lot of other stuff left open that is very strong as well. The Rengar is still up, and Saucy1 also likes to play that. The Cho'Gath, Diffraction, the top lane for Los Niños Gatti, mains Cho'Gath. So if they don't ban the Cho'Gath, then they're gonna have a problem. So actually, a ban is skipped over from Los Niños Gatti, and then the Jhin is banned out from Don't Ban Jhin. So they banned the
Ironically, a
Jhin.
little bit.
Yeah,
Now we've seen this ban skipping strategy before. It's never turned out well. Generally, you want to have 3 bans because 3 is more
yeah.
than 2. But, maybe there's a certain strategy coming out from Los Niños Gatti, and that's the only time I'm going to pronounce it with even close to the proper pronunciation, but I wanted to get one in there. Just one. That's all I needed. And, okay.
I highly doubt that's gonna. Okay, never mind.
All right.
Well, I'm confused. Saucy1 plays Rengar, and the Rengar is still up, so I don't know why that is not picked, but it's an interesting pick to say the least. And the Caitlyn takeaway, Caitlyn, Alpha Heretic mains Caitlyn, and Sykes, the ADC, spelled Xyexs, really weird spelling, mains Caitlyn as well. So that Caitlyn was a very contested pick, and I'm very confused why that Evelyn was first picked on their side.
Yeah, usually I'm all for weird off the wall strategies. Anyone who's ever stalked my solo queue profile, don't. It's horrifying. But I play dumb stuff like Elise support or Shaco jungle, just kind of off the wall stuff. But Evelyn, I think Evelyn's a little bit more legitimate than Elise jungle or Elise support, not jungle. Dear God.
Yeah.
But regardless, first picking it seems unnecessarily risky to me.
Yeah. Leona Evelyn, or sorry, Leona and Oriana coming out after that. So they actually have a lot of really good team fighting right now. As the shockwave into Leona's ulti, into the Evelyn ulti, will just be like an incredible amount of AoE damage in lockdown.
Yeah, but
The Leona pick though, into the lane of Zyra will be very hard for her, as if she can get onto the Zyra is super squishy. But if she can't hit those E's and get in on Zyra before Zyra pokes her down, Zyra will poke her down and she'll
yeah.
be just walking around with no HP.
Um, I I hope this gets locked in just so that we can see these team fights that last like half a second. Because if you have Zyra, Anivia, and Gangplank, that is a lot of AoE.
Yeah, it looks like that's not going to be the case though, and it's going to be the Ivern. Some things to touch on. So rookie jungler and Gangplank, what up? I don't think I'm going to be saying that one on stream.
Well, since he's playing Gangplank, we can just say, "Oh ship, what up?"
Oh ship, what up? Is they're both playing their main champions. So on the side of Don't Ban Jhin, they've all gotten their mains, and really quickly, Los Ninos Gatti picks up Ashe and Nautilus. which are some comfort picks for them, although not their main champions. So Los Ninos Gatti, none of them really got their mains, and a lot of them got champions that they're comfortable on, but not play too much. While Don't Ban Jhin, they're all playing their main champions right now. I mean, and like the Caitlyn pick was so hot and contested. I don't know why they let it go over to the side of Don't Ban Jhin.
Well, I mean, you could argue theoretically that you could try for a sneaky submarine ball play, but Evelyn's passive gets revealed. It's camouflage. So that doesn't quite work.
I mean, and the Zed pick, that's CDM does like his Zed, and picking it against the Orianna, not too sure about that though.
Yeah, well, they kind of set themselves up now for having to end the game early because their only AP damage is Zyra, and while she does a lot of it, it's not necessarily going to be enough to counteract the fact that no one else does any. That said, Gangplank does have all that armor pen, so I don't know, is it worth it, or do they need a little more AP? Because I don't think Ivern does all that much damage.
Yeah, Ivern is not going to be super damage heavy, although he's going to have a little bit of magic damage, but the Zyra magic damage actually isn't anything to just look over. She actually does a considerable amount of damage, so if they build just straight armor, the Zyra will actually shred them. So they're still going to have to get like a locket or two on the side of Los Nidos Gatti. So it can't just be straight armor, which would be normally ideal if they didn't have that AP support.
Yeah, would just the Locket on Leona be enough? Because Leona already kind of wants to build Locket and Face of the Mountain and all these shieldy things, because all she brings to the table as a support is a bunch of CC, which is, granted, that's important and it's a lot, but at the same time, if that's all you bring, you're going to want to have some sort of other utility, which can be brought in with support items like Face of the Mountain, like Locket. I don't think anything else gives a shield. It probably doesn't, I'm forgetting, but...
Yeah, and I mean, that probably will be enough. And against the Zed, all those shielding items are like pretty important anyways, because if you pop Locket, Face of the Mountain, and then also have the new support item, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Knight's Vow?
Knight's Vow, there you go.
Yeah.
All of those items will actually just counter the Zed. So, I mean, they do have to close this out early, as their, triple AD will kind of fall off later on. But it's not going to be the end of the world if they are dragged out to late game.
Well, they also have 2 exhausts, and this team from Los Ninos Gatti is sort of incredibly CC heavy. Not even sort of, because Orianna has at least 1 hard CC. Evelyn has a huge slow on Agony's Embrace. Dear God, I hope that's actually her ultimate name, otherwise that'll be embarrassing. Solar Flare from Leona, Zenith Blade from Leona, Shield of Daybreak from Leona, all 3 are stuns, or maybe a slow if you're bad at hitting the Solar Flare. Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Ashe, the slow from Frost Shot, the slow from Volley. Nautilus has his Anchor, he has his Riptide, he has his Depth Charge, he has his passive. I want to say Concussive Blows. I'm probably wrong, but I'm just going to roll with it. There is a lot of CC on this team. And while Ivern's great at shielding, if he's stunned for 8 seconds, he's not going to shield anyone, and then you're left with 4 incredibly squishy carries.
Yeah, I mean, they have no real frontline on Don't Ban Jhin, and compared to the Leona Nautilus, I mean, if this game is dragged out onto late game, there's a definite advantage for Los Ninos Gatti, but the early game is going to be really rough for them, as Caitlyn Zyra, one of the strongest lanes possible in the bot lane, just should completely demolish the Leona Ashe. Ivern, really strong early jungler who can do a lot of cheesy stuff. Zed, Gangplank, not super strong early. They have really good mid games though, and GP will transition decently well into the late game. So ideally, they're gonna want to snowball the bot lane, just stomp it out, and then try to get pressure from mid lane, help him get rolling, have the GP just farm up and just poke down people. And, I mean, there's a decent shot at this.
Yep, well, we'll have to see how it goes going forward into the game. We're going to load up now into the loading screen So I will try and get some music going, but unfortunately alt-tabbing while loading in is very risky, so we'll see. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the game here. It looks like my computer is having a little bit of trouble loading in. So
Same for me. If everything is just blank.
Yep. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I spoke a little bit too soon, but we're coming into game 1 here of the EU Finals. On the blue team, we have Los Ninos Gatti with Katsuo on the mid lane, Saucy1 in the jungle, Hunt and the support position, Sykes in AD carry, and Diffraction in the top lane. This is hard without LCS order, let me tell you. And on the red team, we have Don't Ban Jhin with Alpha Heretic on AD carry, Casted on the support Zyra, Rookie Jungler on the jungle. Wow, funny how that works out. Oh Ship What Up on the Gangplank, and Carpe Diem Nath, or CDN, as we're going to refer to him for most of the cast if we can remember, in the mid lane. So let's see this level 1 coming out as I try and rearrange the scoreboard a little.
Yeah, level 1 right here looks pretty standard. Everyone is just watching the jungle entrances, trying to find out where that Ivern is looking to go. And if they can prevent the Ivern from getting a triple buff in the first clear, that would be really big. Because Evelynn, red buff is incredibly important to her ganks, and so is blue buff, because she's going to go mana hungry without it. So if Ivern can steal one of these buffs, it's going to be really big.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes.
And it looks like Ivern is starting on the same side as Evelynn, so that would actually make it very hard for him to triple buff. And Evelynn knows he's there, so she's going to say, I'm going to start this blue buff, then go to my red buff, and there's no buff for you to take on my side. So really well done by Saucy1 here with his level 1 strats. The mind games coming out.
Yep, so it looks like both junglers starting topside, which means we don't get the sort of weird CS advantages that come from leashing for the bot lane. But it looks like Gangplank is not actually going to leash for his jungler.
I don't think he's going to need a leash Ivern.
Well, no. Yeah. I'm a little slow today. It's been... I had to set up everything from scratch just before the stream started. I'm a little out of it as a result. Sykes just taking a little bit of poke damage here from Alpha Heretic on the Caitlyn, getting the headshot down.
And that's going to be the story of this lane. Caitlyn Zyra, as I mentioned, incredibly long range, incredibly high amounts of poke damage, and Leona Ashe have no sustain besides Ashe's Warlords, which she might have.
I'd hope so. Ooh. Katsuo going to take a little bit of damage from the turret there. Top lane trades are going decently well. I'd like to touch on itemization a little bit here. Top lane, we see a Sapphire Crystal for Gangplank. This is... I don't know if it's necessarily standard, but it's common enough that I could get away with calling it standard. So we're just going to say that.
It's pretty common.
And, Zenith Blade going a little wide, but something we didn't really touch on in Champion Select that I'd like to touch on now. We don't have a lethality AD carry, which is kind of shocking to me, honestly.
Well, with the lethality nerfs coming out, my damage.
Casted taking a little bit, and Sykes doing the same. That is a 1 trade for the side of Alpha Heretic and Casted, because Casted has 3 potions, Sykes has none now.
Yeah, the DBJ bot lane, I'm going to try to use acronyms for the names as they're going to be too much of a mouthful.
I wish you luck.
So, DBJ, their bot lane, has an incredibly high amount of poke. So even if they take a lot of damage at the start of the trade, they can just kite back and then just get more damage down. And then when LNG are running away, they can just get more damage on the exit as well. So there's just going to be pretty much, like, even if they take a bad trade, they'll probably still go even with it.
Oh, looks like Rookie Jungler coming in. The route is going to go a little bit wide. So nothing coming of that. Unfortunate.
Yeah, and we see that Zyra damage coming out. Incredibly strong.
Yep. Oh, but Casted's going to get stuck up here. Shield of Daybreak going on to Casted after the Zenith Blade went on to Alpha Heretic. Looks like a flash from Saucy 1. Alpha Heretic getting exhausted. Going to flash away, getting a great 90 caliber net to save his life. Oh, but Hunt is there with the Shield of Daybreak. The passive from Leona is going to be enough to help Ashe pop up Alpha Heretic. And this lane that we thought was going to win pretty handily is getting punished here for Zyra's lack of mobility and health.
Yeah, they were pushing up very hard and had no vision of the Evelynn, as it is hard to get vision of her. She can just walk up. And I mean, they didn't ward the river bush, but even if they did, they wouldn't have spotted her. So they really needed to just play kind of carefully, or just like until they knew where she was. And they disrespected the Evelynn pick, walked up, perma-shoved under the tower. And then after Alpha Heretic got out, kind of just walked back up, disrespecting again, and then dying for it.
Yep, and it looks like a gank coming up top by Rookie Jungler, but nothing's going to come of it. So we look at the bot lane AD carry itemization, actually even the support itemization, and it's just a completely different story to how we thought this lane would be going. Sykes on Ashe already has a BF sword compared to the Cull and boots of Alpha Heretic, and Hunt already has a Sightstone, which is huge. It gets bigger as you go up higher elo, but these guys are gold 4, so they know how to make use of it. As Rookie Jungler about to get caught out here, Katsuo gonna take him down with a little bit of help from Saucy.
Yeah, and Saucy has just been running around getting kills everywhere. He already...
Oh, Zenith Blade going down onto Alpha Heretic. Shield of Daybreak gonna stun him up, but it's not gonna matter.
Yeah. The plants and the traps should provide a lot of safe zones for the bot lane. So even though they are behind, the BF sword shouldn't be too monstrous, and you know, they should still be okay in the lane. Although they definitely won't win trades as easily as before.
Caitlyn Zyra, an incredibly oppressive lane. Very frustrating to play against. Oh, Alpha Heretic getting caught out again by the Zenith Blade. Shield of Daybreak going to go down. Alpha Heretic gonna 90 caliber net out, and Hunt is on the retreat now. Damage from Casted, a little too much to deal with. And it's sort of what you were talking about earlier in Champion Select. You know, if you can get Casted killed from the engage, it's great. But on the retreat, Casted and Alpha Heretic have so much more damage on that Caitlyn and Zyra than, you know, Hunt can... I mean, I would say heal up, but there's nothing to heal with. I guess just handle getting poked down that much.
Yeah, and Hunt there, though, barely scraping out when Casted missed the E and also placed his plants too far back, so there weren't enough plants when Hunt was walking out. So if Casted used the W properly and then hit the E, that might have been a dead Hunt.
Looks like Rookie Jungler might be going for a gank mid based on his pathing. No, it looks like he's probably just going for red. Never mind. Saucy just got back from a pretty good back. Gets the, is that Stalker's Blade? Yes, Stalker's Blade. And the Ether Wisp and Amplifying Tome. So going for Runic Echoes. Nothing surprising there, but the whole map is his oyster, essentially. So we'll see how this upcoming gank goes. Looks like he's going bottom.
Yeah, and so we see Saucy down in the bot lane. There's a 1k gold lead for LNG right now, and 800 of that gold is on Evelynn. Evelynn is ahead, very far of her opponent jungler.
Ooh.
And she stepped on a plant though, so they might know she's here. And the control ward. She is now spotted out, 100%. They're going, Evelynn, 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 not again, not again. Nope, we're out.
Not keen on repeating that experience. Looks like we have a slight CS lead for CDN in the mid lane over this Orianna for Katsuo, which Makes sense to some degree, because Zed's very bursty. Why does he have red buff? Oh, Ivern, right.
Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know, after level 5, Ivern is allowed to share buffs with his allies. So either he or his ally can take it, and the other one can also get it. So that will have 2 red buffs on the side of DBJ, which will help the mid lane out a bit, as he has the red buff. Although, I kind of wonder if maybe it should have gone over to the Gangplank, who can apply it on hit with his Q.
Possibly, but he's already kind of stomping his lane. Well, both of them are winning fairly handily, but CDN has less of a lead, only 10 CS instead of 25.
Yeah, but he's not really auto-attacking at all. I mean, he
True.
can't really get onto the Ori. The Gangplank is going to be autoing a lot against this Nautilus, which is kind of happening right now.
Yeah, just a little bit of
trade.
friendly smacking going down. Ooh, great barrel chain there. Sykes about to get hit by the plants, but the plants decide minion is juicier than the Ashe. Just a little bit of wave clear going on top. Not incredibly exciting for a matchup, but it has the potential to be. The bot lane for DBJ looks like they're backing here. If Saucy were bot side, they could potentially go for a dragon at this point for the side of LNG, but they're not going to get the chance. Saucy just going for this blue buff here. Probably not going to be able to pass it over to Katsuo, though Katsuo is shoving, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Saucy's going to be greedy and take it for himself. Evelynn is pretty mana hungry, though, so it's not completely unheard of. And Orianna has Lost Chapter, so she doesn't have nearly as many mana problems as if she didn't have that. Lost Chapter helps AP mid laners who use mana, like, so much. It just gives a giant chunk of your mana every time you level up. And early on in the lane, you're going to be leveling a lot, so you should almost have like at least half your mana at all times with Lost Chapter.
Now, important to note here is Rookie Jungler is about to get potentially caught out. If you look at the vision line, it's much better for Los Ninos Gatti. As I say that, though, they just cleared out a heck of a lot of vision, so I don't know if I can say that anymore. But they had 2 control wards. Oop, hold on, Hunt going to try and go in on the Zenith Blade, but a good shadow juke from CDN trying to prevent that.
Yeah, and right now this game has kind of stabilized. A lot of early stuff going on, but this Nautilus is taking a lot of damage from this GP. And Gangplank might get a little greedy, not really respect the Evelynn, who is right there. He might go in, and then we will see a response from the Evelynn. Oh, but she's backing.
Yeah, so this is a fairly... I think it's safe to say it's a fairly low action game thus far. We saw a few early kills coming down, mostly, well, actually entirely thanks to Saucy, who has 100% kill participation at this point. But the 1k gold lead has been pretty static. LNG's lanes are losing in CS, but in terms of gold, at least the jungle is very far ahead, and mid lane is about equal. So.
Well, actually...
Oh, hold on! A Flash Zenith Blade coming out from Hunt after the Enchanted Crystal Arrow has gone down. Solar Flare going wide as well. That's 3 ultimates and a Flash Burn for... Well, 2 and a Flash Burn for essentially nothing. So... That's bad for LNG.
A lot burnt, really, and not getting anything from it. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is a huge cooldown. 90 seconds, and it's a very strong ability. So not having that means that it's much safer for Castide and Alpha Heretic in the lane. And I mean, we see that this Ashe actually has been doing really well in this lane. Like 100 to 7 CS to 89. Actually in the lead against the Caitlyn.
Oh, Zenith Blade going in. I'm not sure if that was the right decision, but gets the Shield of Daybreak down onto Alpha Heretic. Sykes is going to get exhausted here. Summoner heal going out for both sides at this point. Katsuo was going to try and roam down, but it looks like Rookie Jungler and CDN had the same idea. This could be a 4v4 team fight. Saucy coming in from the backside. TP is up for both top laners. Oh, no, it's not. Gangplank's teleport is not up for a few more seconds. If LNG can start this
doesn't have a way to cancel the Nautilus's teleport. So if Nautilus wants to, he can immediately cast it. And as long as he's not going to die,
going out.
Make it. But
flashing the shockwave there from Rookie Jungler. Good flash. Not sure if the shockwave might have been a little too optimistic, but I appreciate the enthusiasm, especially in the finals here.
2 control wards right next to each other, getting cleared out. sadly.
They wanted to make
And
sure
now-
that area was super controlled.
Lots of control.
It's like, one is not enough.
But now the control of the dragon actually is shifting over to LNG, as they have now gotten the scuttle crab and cleared out those double control wards.
Well, they were thinking of the map like a keyboard. You know, you need 2 controls on every keyboard. It's just basic, you know. Diffraction and Oh Ship fighting up here a little bit. Diffraction does not have red buff, while Gangplank does, so I'm gonna say you don't want to go in on that.
Yeah, and okay. Alpha Heretic does have the Triforce completed, so he will be able to chase.
Oh, hold on. Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming down. A flash away from the Zenith Blade by Castide.
Oh,
Sykes is going to get
plants
caught
that-
here. Stranglethorn's coming out. It looks like a Solar Flare is going to stun Alpha Heretic. A Shield of Daybreak going to come out. Agony's embraced by Evelyn and going to flash in and possibly get the kill. Finally getting the kill with the Hate Spikes. It's a great play there. Okay, it was a little messy, but good results.
Yeah, and we see that Runic Echoes is doing a lot of damage on that Evelyn, running up to that Caitlyn and bursting her immediately. Really good response gank. It got a little messy there, and Sykes had to burn the flash, but
Just a little bit of friendly scrapping going down here. And with the red buff, it doesn't really matter what poke Nautilus gets down. Well, I don't necessarily would call it poke, but what damage and trades Nautilus gets down, because it gives you health regen. But it looks like 3 people here on the blue side of LNG. Okay, let me clarify. 3 red team players on the blue side. So, successful invade, it looks like. Believe they took the blue there? Not 100% on that.
yeah, Ivern has the blue buff from LNG's jungle.
And so does CDN, so... I would assume that's how that happened.
Is the spectator slightly like lagging every few seconds for you?
Not really. Ooh, hold on. It looks like Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming down, and Hunt coming in with a surprise stun combo out there. Alpha Heretic was not expecting the Leona to come down. And again, we can sort of contribute this to this vision line from LNG. You look at their bottom side. I have it up on stream here. And you have 3 control wards in the river and 1 regular ward by what was usually referred to as the Banana Brush until it was brutally murdered by Riot's map update. Then also they've got a few wards in the top side. But just impressive vision control coming out here from the side of LNG.
Yeah, and this bot lane that we thought was going to be a strong point is getting actually controlled by the opposing team. I mean, did I say it was supposed to be a strong point for LNG?
You just said strong point. You didn't specify the team.
Okay,
Good.
yeah. Well, it is a strong point for LNG. As you can see, against Zyra Caitlyn, they're pushed up to their tower, and Caitlyn has 3 deaths. The Ashe is up 50 CS and 1.5 thousand gold. Could you bring up the gold stats on the screen really fast?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We see this Ashe and Caitlyn combo have an incredibly high amount of gold up on their opponent, as the Evelyn also has 1,000 gold lead.
Yep, hold on. A little bit of a scrap going down here between Gangplank and Nautilus. Nautilus looks like he's possibly going to go down here. A final barrel from Oh Ship. And Death Charge goes out, but wasn't put on cooldown because he died before the cast animation finished. You know, you gotta look for the silver linings sometimes in these engages.
Yeah. I mean, Oh Ship wanting to get money to buy himself a ship.
Yep, he's trying. He's doing his best, but...
And I mean, he's doing it pretty well. He's up, what, 1.7 thousand gold?
Looks
and
about like that much, yeah.
And he is the shining point for DBJ right now.
Yeah, he's the entire reason they are still in the game gold-wise, except, you know, CDN is keeping up fairly well.
Yeah, it's pretty, mid is really even right now, and then top lane is in favor of DBJ, and bot lane is in favor of LNG. And I mean, we've seen where these junglers have been putting their emphasis. Rookie jungler has been trying to even out mid lane whenever, and help out top lane more, so while Saucy has been helping mid a little bit, but putting most of the emphasis in the bot lane. So we see these junglers actually having a pretty large impact, especially Saucy. I mean, you can feel his impact, and I'm sure that DBJ is definitely feeling the impact as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can also see the impact in his scoreboard, whereas Rookie Jungler has not had a gank successful enough to result in a kill or an assist for him, but, you know, perhaps they'll work on that. You know, Saucy was doing very well with pathing, I'll say, because he does have a 30 CS lead, and while CS isn't everything in the jungle anymore, I feel like it's a little bit indicative that he's at the very least keeping up with Ivern, who has no problems farming whatsoever, whereas Evelyn kind of does. And we've seen at multiple points Saucy just kind of sitting in lane for a few seconds just to try and get a gank off, where most junglers would, you know, be like, okay, that's it, farming. Oh, and it looks like Alpha Heretic gonna get blown up here by Saucy and Sykes. Castide on the backline's also getting incredibly low, not gonna go down. Sykes gonna have to blow heal. A great ultimate from Ship, and Castide is like sub 100 HP. Oh,
CDN is looking for a kill. Do they know?
Oh no! Oh no! Sykes is gonna get ulted on, flashes out. Saucy gonna possibly go down to the ace in the hole, but it looks like Hunt and Katsuo trying to get it. Sykes definitely gonna go down here though. Katsuo gonna follow him shortly. Daisy not a fan of the Orianna here. Hunt gonna use that Shield of Daybreak to try and keep up. Oh, a great root collar by Rookie Jungler, and Hunt going into Alpha Heretic. Almost gets the kill there. Rookie Jungler on the backside, not gonna let Katsuo get away. Until he does.
That was a little bit of a El Fiesta, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, it was.
But it definitely got DBJ back in the game, and they're getting a Mountain Drake right now. Or, I lied. It's an Ocean. Definitely not a Mountain Drake.
It's a cloud.
Not nearly as powerful. Was debated a little bit.
Yeah, this game went from siesta to fiesta real quick. We'll just put it that way. Oh, the flash away from the barrel on the side of Diffraction. Oh shit,
but
trying to play around that last
do
barrel.
Damage and,
Diffraction still gonna go down. But
and
it was a cute play. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty saucy. Trying to live up to his jungler's name.
Doing his best. Not quite there yet.
Rookie Jungler marked the red buff, but when he did it, I don't think he had smite, so he actually just marked it and walked away. I just realized that it was not taken, so...
He is, however, going to get the blue buff of LNG.
Yeah. Yeah, and as Ivern, basically smite charges mean go into the jungle, smite away a camp, and then walk out. You don't want to overstay in a jungle. You don't want to mark a jungle camp that you can't smite away, as you're not going to get it.
Hunt going to get caught out here by the root collar. Solar Flare looks like it went down. It'll end the shockwave. Katsuo is going to go down here, possibly to CDN's ultimate. The exhaust being just enough. Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to hit down onto Rookie Jungler. Hunt is getting incredibly low here, but a teleport coming in from Diffraction. Will he be able to save him? CDN possibly under tower, but Daisy is tanking it up for him. And no one's going to go down yet, but it looks like Sykes is coming in on the backside, possibly trying to prevent any more fighting from happening, but it's unnecessary.
Yeah. I want to say Oship What Up had a really nice Gangplank ulti in that fight. It hit Orianna for a very long time, and Leona had to walk through the entire ultimate to get to the other side. So even though they had that GP ulti, there just wasn't enough damage, as Caitlyn isn't strong enough to have consistent damage yet. Zed isn't able to just burst a tank. He wasn't even there, was he? I don't think he was there yet. And
I'm not
Zyra, still a support, not going to do stupid damage yet.
Daisy going to go down onto following the root collar. Diffraction is probably going to die here. I don't see any way that he can win this, possibly with some cute playing around the barrels. Oh, shit, he's taking minion damage, though, so Diffraction has a chance. Isn't going to get the stun with the auto attack. But we see a lot of experience on this champion from Oship. Kind of shining through, because he has played it a lot, but we see both of his ultimates were very good. That one in the last team fight got some damage down and was sort of a zoning tool, and before that he had saved both of his bot laners from the chase from LNG. So, you know, clearly knows where and how to place those ultimates, whereas sometimes you see players just kind of toss them wherever. Ooh, Castide missing the grasping roots there, and it looks like gonna go down to the Zenith Blade and Shield of Daybreak combo. Saucy getting incredibly low here, though. Alpha Heretic trying to get away from Hunt. The shield coming out, gonna take him down. Hunt getting incredibly low here, too. Katsuo getting ulted by the Zed here from CDN. Is he gonna be able to take CDN down before he gets popped? No! Deathmark doing enough damage to take him out before another Command Protect, Dissonance, or attack could come out. Anything is probably what I should have said there instead. But you know what? Sometimes when you're in the moment, you have to say really awkward sentences.
And I mean, this game has just completely swung around, and now DBJ actually has the gold lead. And I mean, it's rocketed really quickly. Already 3,000 difference. It just immediately went, we're ahead? Not anymore. They are now ahead, and by a lot. So, something I want to make note of, I mentioned how Ivern smites his jungle camps earlier. Or, sorry, he smites jungle camps in the enemy jungle to get them. Rookie jungler has actually been smiting his own camps. Right there. Smites his own buff again. Or her own buff. Correction. I know Rookie Jungler a little bit personally.
I always screw that up on a cast, even if I know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna say he
Did
and
you
then
just
apologize
assume
afterwards.
their gender even though you know it?
I'm like, I'm sorry. In the moment, I forget.
Ivern is a male champion, to be fair. I sometimes call male players with a female champion she. So, I mean...
It's so hard to keep it consistent, because you can either call it by champion, you can call it by guessing, and then if you never stick to a system, it's like, well, you know, I'll just pick one at random today. I should just do a coin flip before I say every name, you know, in the middle of a team fight on a casting, and it looks
you are a male, you are a female.
Like, X-Kazuo is getting a shockwave, and... Okay, he gets it on 3. I feel like that'd
coin.
be, you know,
you are an Apache attack helicopter.
Yeah, that'd be the fairest way to distribute it, I feel, unless you can 100% get it. But oh, it looks like Diffraction's gonna try and take out Heretic. That's a lot of damage. I'm surprised he didn't keep going there. But CDN coming down, so that was probably the better play.
Yeah, and this Evelyn build is very interesting. I don't know if the Gunblade is standard on her, but I kind of like it a little bit. She has a lot of base damage and AP now, and when she gets that Lich Bane, she's going to have an incredibly amount of...
CDN going in onto Katsuo. The exhaust coming out, though, and there's a redemption here. Not sure what team it was from. Katsuo going to go down to that ultimate from Gangplank, as is Saucy. So that was a 2v4. They definitely should not have fought that one.
Yeah, and the duo bot is in the top from the side of LNG, and Gangplank is just going to clear it out, and it looks like DBJ might even want to get another tower. It looks like they're going to just settle for the 2 outer towers, but this gold lead went from 3k to now 5k, and we have an Ocean Drake coming up. Not the most valuable. It's not a Cloud Drake, so... Oh, that Ivern not making it over the wall.
Blast Plant mechanics, not quite on point.
No, but they do have the Dragon Control, and this should be pretty much free, as Saucy is not up yet.
I mean, Diffraction could try and flash into the pit and steal it with Riptide or something, but I would certainly not recommend that, and he luckily recognizes that fact.
Yeah. And CDN on the Zed is actually becoming a pretty big threat. Now, he has messed up his combos a few times. Normally, you want to save your abilities for when you're ulting, because it'll amplify your ulti damage. So he hasn't been playing Zed to a T, not Bjergsen or Faker level. But
not quite yet.
He's been doing pretty good. And he now has the Edge of Night and the Ghostblade. So he's definitely going to be able to pop the Edge of Night, run in there, and get any target. And the Leona won't be able to stop him easily. So that means that Leona's Q won't be enough, and she actually has to land a skill shot. Either that or the Shockwave.
Here's the question, though.
Off.
Does her W...
it procs Edge of Night.
Does it
but
proc
it doesn't... Yes, it will. The Leona's W damage will proc it, and there's a lot of AoE stuff that will proc it. Edge of Night isn't proc by only CC. It will block any spell. But the big CC things are going to be easily blocked by the Zed here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to make him going in much stronger. The thing that's most likely going to take it out is the volley, if it's not going to be one of the important CC abilities.
Right.
So, like, volley, AoE damage will proc it.
Or perhaps the Riptide from Nautilus. There's a chance.
I highly doubt he's going to want to be close enough to the Nautilus to get hit by that.
Well, true. He's not going to want to be, but we've seen sillier things happen in these games here. But to be fair, this is the final tournament, so the pinnacle of Learning 5's play is going to go down here.
Yeah. Pinnacle of EU Learning 5's.
Yeah, we'll see. EU kind of out-joke played NA with
EU has pretty good
Oh,
games.
Jesus!
Oh, my.
Okay.
We see Oh Ship What Up memeing on Sykes with the GP combo.
That was dirty.
He crit him for over 1,000 damage, I think.
Yeah, and then just Alton was like, all right, cool, see ya.
This GP is big. He is strong. 5 items already, 28 minutes in, and has 13,000 gold. By far the most in the game. Next closest is Ash with 10,000, and we saw how that 10,000 gold did against the 13,000.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
not too hot.
Yeah, we mentioned how GP was going to be, they want to just have him farm up, and then, like, he is going to be what carries them through the late game, and it looks like that is going to be happening. He is their late game, and this Caitlyn, she just needs to stay safe and just deal damage. She doesn't need to be, like, the primary damage. GP is fed as F. I mean, he's going to be doing that.
Yep.
So as long as they just play safe, Ivern peels for people, Zyra just protects the GP, they just play around the gangplank, and they win right now.
Mm-hmm. The 50% crit, the sort of crit lethality build, Tobias Fate was talking about this a little bit when he was on, what's the name of it? Beyond the Rift, I think? And he was saying...
I beat Tobias today. Yeah. Doesn't matter. His opinion is invalid because I have beaten him.
You beat him. You have absorbed his gangplank knowledge.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I decree that Lichbane is now viable on gangplank.
You joke, but my friend likes playing AP Gangplank because he hates me.
I miss AP Gangplank. Before the Gangplank rework, AP Gangplank was actually the viable build path. Or one of the viable build paths. You could go Tank Plank, AP Plank, Bank Plank, AD Gangplank. There was a lot you could do with Gangplank. But now it's just AD crit or lethality.
Or both. As we're seeing a little bit here.
That, yeah, that's what's coming out.
So we're just seeing kind of like objective trading here, which I don't know is the right one. I think LNG might get the better of this trade if they turn on to Baron, but there is vision from DBJ, so I don't know if turning onto it is smart.
Are they doing the... There's wards on this. This is...
There's wards, but they're doing
it
get
fast.
There necessarily in time. But
yeah,
the Baron buff isn't gonna... Or the Baron
They're
debuff,
gonna get it, but...
Oh, no, they get it.
They will, but
then,
on the way out, are they gonna live?
No, not at all, because that was just everything blown there from DBJ.
I mean, you're pincered in. You have people coming in from all sides, and even if you get the Baron, you'll lose the fight immediately afterwards, and that does happen. And now it looks like they're just gonna run it down mid. Nautilus, only member with Baron buff left. You have to... This was not worth it. They're gonna get an inhib.
They might get game.
What, 2
or
towers?
2 inhibs. Because they've gotten 2 towers thus far.
Yeah, they've already gotten 2 towers and an inhib, and it looks like they're gonna get another inhib off of this. It doesn't look like they're gonna try to end, and they aren't. I think this is the right move. Play it slow and steady. Get the inhibs. Death timers are coming up, so they have to leave now. They are gonna do that.
Yep, just doing a little sprinting out. So this game is
kind of... oh, my flash. Rookie jungler flashing, saying, I want this red buff. I'll share it with Alpha.
Okay, I mean, that's certainly an option there. That was certainly a theoretical play that could have been made by an Ivern in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, you could always do the flash jungle camp on Ivern. Maybe not the best of plays, but... definitely a potential option.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, not gonna try and finish the back. Alright, just smacking the blast plant. No, my plants are the only things that'll be in this jungle, damn it.
Yeah, and I didn't really touch on this much before, but I really think that the Gangplank should have been banned out. I mean, we see how strong this is. Oh ship, what up? He mains pretty much 2 champions, Gangplank and Darius. And if you take away one, you know what the other one is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you could even just take away both of them. I mean, those are his main 2 champions. Everything else he plays is much less experienced. So, and we see how much experience he has on this. Right now, they just, LNG just needs to try to turtle it out and find a way back. But they also need to be starting to think about what do we do next game, as it's very unlikely that they're going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be planning their adaptions out, probably as we speak, because this game is very likely not going to last much longer. They need to address what's going on, what can they do better right now, and then they need to translate that into the next game as well. And one thing they
Ironically, what
need to do
happened
better
here,
is just ban Gangplank.
yeah. Ironically, what
in
happened
solo
is the
queue-
opposite of what we thought was going to happen. We thought, this team
Yeah,
was
we
going to have
thought-
problems mid-late. Would have to win early. They lose early. They win mid-late. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean,
Oh, stun going down, but Orange is too strong.
yeah. Here's all.
Looks like a
Oh
great
my
barrel
gosh!
chain gonna come out. I saw him prepping for it, and I was like, oh boy, a flash Q from Oh Ship. And it looks like he's also gonna take out someone else with just an auto. Diffraction getting a little bit low here, gonna go down to Gangplank as well. So, Oh Ship indeed.
Yeah,
We'll just leave it at
CDN
that.
didn't want to share. Just wanted to share some of the glory, not letting him get the quadra kill, but a triple kill coming out from Oh Ship. What up? Closing out the game, and this Gangplank was just monstrous.
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, that's game one going over to DBJ, but there's,
Yes.
up
This
to
is
two
a best
more
of
games.
three.
Because it's
Well,
a best of three.
potential.
Yeah, potentially two more.
Yeah, if DBJ wins the next one, it will end there. Although we will see the next game if I think the draft played a big part of that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see how the draft plays out, as I don't think there should be the Caitlyn going over, even just because I think Sykes is so comfortable on that Caitlyn, and he did well on Ashe. I think if he got his main champion, he would do even better. And I mean, maybe he thinks that Caitlyn isn't as good in his team environment, but he was kind of, like, you can't hard carry as an Ashe. A Caitlyn is a much stronger damage threat, and if we saw Sykes playing Caitlyn instead in that early game, that it definitely would have went much more in favor of them.
Yep, well, we're going to take a quick break here. Sorry, DBJ. I was about to say LBJ, and remember that was a president. So DBJ taking game one here of this best of three. We're going to go on a quick break while everyone, gets ready and refills their water or whatever between the two games, and then we'll be back in a few minutes. See you then. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to Game 2 of the EU Finals here at Learning Fives. My name's Nibiria, and I'm joined still by Epic Death Guy. How you doing?
Really? I thought I left.
Well, unlike you who did stay, the top laner for LNG has been replaced by Sweeping Blade. Don't know why, but it was okayed by the other coach, so doesn't really matter. We see the Kha'Zix and Zyra bans coming out here. Kha'Zix makes sense to me, but I don't quite understand the Zyra ban. I don't feel like it was that impactful.
I feel I was told that they wanted to ban that game 1 actually, and I feel that they just had a game plan they came in for both games with. So I think they're just sticking to what they came in with. They wanted to ban the Zyra initially. I think they still want to because of that. I don't think it's needed though, and I think there's more important bans. Although this leaves up a lot of this. This is same bans from DBJ,
Which is still
but,
confusing. I mean, their names
yeah.
don't ban Jhin, and they keep banning Jhin. It just...
Why?
Are you saying don't ban it so that we can ban it because we hate Jhin that much? Because that... I mean, that makes sense. That's valid. I dislike playing against Jhin as well.
I actually... Whoa, they're skipping a ban again.
Solid.
It's twice in a row.
Solid.
They have evolved the new 2-ban strat. If people are asking for a 10-ban system, we should have a 4-ban system, actually.
Exactly.
Going back in League of Legends history a little bit.
Well, we've got Caitlyn coming out. Not surprising.
Yeah, not at all. Both ADCs like the Caitlyn, and first picking the Caitlyn now. I don't know if they thought... I mean, we saw that last game, the Caitlyn actually didn't do too much early on, and, wasn't, being super impactful mid to late game. She was definitely doing well, but not a giant threat, so I don't think it was needed to be banned away. The real thing that I think Los Ninos Gatti kind of messed up on is no top lane bans again. I mean... Gangplank and Darius still up. I mean, at least take away the Gangplank because we saw how strong that can be. Darius, maybe they could handle that, right? He's kiteable. If they have like a comp that they can kite him with, that's fine. And the Evelynn did well last game. I don't think that's a problem. I think that the Zed is a little bit risky because they're picking that blind this game.
Yeah, I mean,
so
the
that
Evelynn,
could be countered.
I think we've seen Saucy on Evelynn 3 times total in Learning Fives. I know that the match I cast, or the series I cast between LNG and TTC, Saucy picked Evelynn there as well. So I'm guessing it's just a comfort pick at this point, and it didn't do particularly poorly, so I guess it's fine. But like you said, the Zed kind of confusing.
Yeah, the Evelynn did pretty well, actually. It definitely looked really good in the early to mid game. Evelynn does kind of... She's not an amazing... Like, she's decent in team fighting, but she has no hard CC. She's not going to be able to really assassinate those targets late game unless there's someone seriously mispositioning. So, is this going to be an Ivern again? Warwick actually coming out from Rookie Jungler.
Lock it. Yeah!
And that is Rookie Jungler's other pick. He plays Ivern and Warwick primarily, and deciding to switch it up a little bit as they have won their first game already.
I like the Warwick more because it's cooler.
I like him because I like him.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's how I judge a lot of team composition strengths here in Learning Fives. I say, does it have cool champions?
Yeah.
If yes,
Evelynn
I like it.
+2, Warwick +2 as well. We got the Leonis. It's a +1 there. The Zed +1 as well.
It's just simple math,
So far, LNG has a pretty nice composition of spiciness levels, and the Sivir.
So that's 3 for LNG.
That's a yeah. Totaling up already 6 spice points or so right now.
Yeah, we'll see if DBJ can pick up their, pick spiciness. The Aatrox would make it an auto win. Just saying that now.
Maybe not until the changes come out for him. Oh, ship. No, don't do it. I think I saw some Galio in his match
Do it.
history. Now,
I mean, what?
I
Sorry.
it's not out of the realm of possibility. They are one game up, so they can possibly do a risky pick like this. If he locks it in, I will. And also, I forgot to mention that Katsuo actually picked away the Zed from CDN, so it's actually on the opposite team this game.
Yep.
So
Oh
he's
boy.
going back to okay. So going back to the Gangplank, I think it should have been banned away, and it looks like they're just looking to win this game. I mean, their composition is really strong. They have a lot of pick potential. They have the Warwick ulti plus the Lissandra ulti, and then they have the Karma speed up plus the GP ult to slow them down. They can definitely run in there, grab a pick on someone, and then they also have pretty decent team fighting power too. The Caitlyn with the Runon's Hurricane, as well as the GP. We saw his team fighting last game. Lissandra having a lot of AoE. Karma, an amazing team fighting support. So
Uh,
DBJ has a really solid comp, but
I.
LNG has a lot of AD, and they have. I mean, they have. Oh, they have a pretty good team fighting comp too, honestly. So I'd like to see these comps just kind of smash together, just kind of smash each other and see who wins. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm.
but I
I'm
Sweeping
confused.
Blade, picking the Jace up. So this is a top laner we haven't seen in action before. He is a Yasuo main, I believe, as the name would suggest.
I would hope so. Otherwise, that name,
Yeah,
is
but
mighty unfortunate that he just named himself and it became a skill name.
yeah. The Leona support actually putting the tank in the support role plus Evelyn is kind of bruisery. Although last game she built lots of damage, makes it so they can pick a damage top laner, and the Jace is really strong. He's definitely a meta champion. The GP actually took exhaust this game. There's 3 exhausts on the side of DBJ.
Oh, good
So
lord.
they just want to shut down that Zed, that Evelyn, that Jace. And I mean, Jace is actually a really good laner. So they might have said, okay, look, we see Gangplank is a really good laner. Their O-Ship is a really good GP player. But we think that we can still leave it up and actually match it or even beat it with the Jace pick. And I think it's really risky to do this, but it could potentially pay off.
I think it's an interesting adaptation, but I don't think it's necessarily a good one, personally.
Yeah, definitely. It's risky, very risky. It's
'Cause-
it's a high risk, low reward situation where they're risking leaving this GP up where, and he dominated last game. It's very likely he could do the same this game. And the reward that they could get from leaving this up is that Jace might beat him slightly. I highly doubt he's going to stomp the GP. So, I mean, not a great pick ban again from LNG,
yeah, I'm
but
sort of questioning I'm still questioning the Zed pick, first of all, because
yeah, also,
they seem to have
it's a
counterpicked
takeaway.
around it entirely. And
Yeah,
then,
it's
your goal is going to be to kill the Gangplank, right? Because that was the biggest threat last game. What do you even have to kill Gangplank? You have nothing. You can maybe get a shockwave from Jace with the acceleration gate and maybe just get lucky enough to drop him low enough that maybe a ricochet from Sivir kills him. But beyond that, Leona's not going to be able to get in range to do anything because Gangplank can play so far back with barrels. Sivir's not going to get in range to do anything because she's short range and a barrel will kill her. She does have the spell shield to time properly to block the barrel, but at the same time, if she doesn't, she dies instantly. Evelyn is incredibly squishy. Even if you build her bruisery, she's probably still going to get at least heavily chunked out by a Gangplank barrel. They're kind of putting all their eggs in the put down GP and lane basket and not giving themselves the tools to do it.
yeah. And I mean, later in this game, the GP, his ultimate can just be dropped on the entire team of LNG. And even if they have that Sivir ult, they're still going to be slowed down. And there's so much damage from DBJ. So if they just run at them with the Sivir team that they have, they could just get melted, honestly. They're just running into a death trap, most likely. So DBJ actually, I say going in with a draft advantage and looking like they're gonna possibly make this a 2-0 in the EU finals.
Yep, well, we'll see how it goes. Coming up, we'll be in game in a few minutes here, but in the meantime, enjoy this pretty weight screen. Well, unfortunately, I had to cut off that beautiful song, but we're loading in here to the second game of the EU finals. We're having a bit of the loading delay as we did before, but that just gives me more time to reintroduce the teams. For the blue side, which this side is Don't Ban Jhin, we have Alpha Heretic on 80 carry, Castide on support, Rookie Jungler in the jungle, Oship What Up in the top lane, and CDN in the mid lane on that Lissandra. For the red team, which is Los Ninos Gatti, we have X-Katsuo in the mid lane, Saucy in the jungle, Sykes on 80 carry, Hunt on support, and Sweeping Blade in the top lane, as directed camera is telling us to look at Heretic kind of standing still. Nothing
Directed
too
camera
interesting
is
coming
not
out.
the best camera work.
Yeah, it's directed camera isn't directed fairly well. We're gonna say it's an amateur director. We'll put it that way. But nothing too interesting in these starting items. We see.
If I've learned anything from Michael Bay, add more explosions to be a good director.
Yeah, it's perfect. We just
League
need,
of Legends needs more explosions.
Instead of having like an introduction to the game, we'll just have a bunch of explosion sounds.
Welcome to League of Legends.
Yeah. In a world where League of Legends has explosions. And then that's just it. It's just that repeated until 1:40 when the game actually starts. Level 1's also
Fairly
kind of
standard.
disappointing here.
None of them 5v5 smashing faces level 1s. We see both junglers starting out on the bottom side getting a leash from their bot lane. And this is going to make it so we will see both junglers up in the top side when they're done with their clears. And these lanes are there's two damage dealing top laners, not tanks. So if they get ganked, it's very likely that they will die.
Well, it also depends on how well the ganks go, because though neither top laner really has an escape, neither jungler has like a great way to get on to a target. Because they both kind of just walk at them very quickly, which is fine to a degree. But there's a reason you don't see Volibear, you know?
Neither jungler has hard CC. And the only CC that they actually have right now is going to be... Well, the Warwick actually does have hard CC. After the Warwick rework, he actually has a Fear. But they both do have to walk up really far to get their ganks off.
Yeah, I mean... jeez. Sweeping Blade actually doing a pretty good job of zoning off Oship already. Only has a 1 CS lead, but keeping him pretty chunked out. So maybe the strategy will work out. I was really hard on it in Champion Select because last game they just kind of let GP scale and lost as a result. So I thought maybe they'd want to perhaps even over-adjust, some would consider it, and just get like Renekton or Pantheon to just absolutely dumpster GP. Although I don't think Pantheon does as well because of oranges, but... We just see a little bit of trading coming down here. Oh, Zenith Blade
Alpha
coming down
getting
from
really
Hunt onto
low.
Alpha Heretic. Alpha Heretic getting fairly low.
But Hunt
eat the
stepping in a trap. Yeah. Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Oh, Saucy coming in onto CDN. It looks like CDN doesn't have any hard CC left. Don't know if he even has his W, but that's a successful gank because now Lissandra is zoned off of farm, and the Zed just kind of gets to free farm a little bit, and then Saucy's going to counter jungle the Raptors.
And I mean, both of these mid laners are competent Zed players, but it looks like Katsuo is having a lot of pressure on it.
Zenith Blade going down onto Alpha Heretic, as is the Shield of Daybreak, flashing out of the Mantra Q from Karma. Sykes possibly going to take out Alpha Heretic here, not quite enough damage. The Piltover Peacemaker going to come in, get a little bit of fadeaway
Evelyn,
damage.
though.
Oh, Saucy's coming in on the backline, doesn't have flash. Oh, he does! Oh, it looks like Alpha Heretic's going to go down. Castide might be here to follow. Red buff not going to be enough of a slow to stop, and Hunt is nowhere near in position to stop the movement further with Zenith Blade or something, but it looks like Rookie Jungler gonna try and prevent a counter gank here. Katsuo was roaming, but gonna decide against it now, it looks like.
Yeah, and we see that
oh, hold on a second. Katsuo about to take out DM. Both flashes burned as well as Ignite. No exhaust from CDN though. It's gonna
Katsuo is almost dying to minions right here too.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, Zed burning both summoners pre-6 means that once he hits level 6, his summoners actually probably won't be up still. And for the rest of this lane, Lissandra's actually going to have an exhaust advantage. So while Zed might have had a lot of early pressure, it's definitely much easier for the Lissandra now that summoners are burned from Zed.
Yeah, he kind of threw his lead away a little bit there because he did have a bit of a CS lead. And he still has a tiny bit, but...
Oh, we gotta talk about CSing. So Lissandra could actually freeze the wave right here and deny Zed a lot of minions. But it looks like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, well, it's just trying to tank it up with her ice body, but...
Zed shoved in one wave, but not fast enough, and it would actually be in a position where Lissandra could freeze this. Lissandra did shove it in, though, so she can set up a freeze again, potentially, although it won't be as soon.
And Katsuo will be in lane by that point anyways.
Yeah, so, and he picked up a little bit of XP there, too. It looks like she's actually just going to try to perma-shove. And we saw that CDN actually had a lot of mana issues earlier on, as he wasn't able to really return to Katsuo's, damage because he was just losing all of his mana. And we see on the Lissandra, CDN is just kind of spamming Q to wave clear constantly. Now, having the Sapphire Crystal... not having as much of a mana problem, although having not really much mana regen, if he keeps on doing this, he might have the same issues again.
Yeah, and Lissandra's mana costs were nerfed the last time she was touched. Oh, looks like Oship is getting gone on here. Saucy in the back line, but Sweeping Blade trying to do it all by himself, and Saucy's going to be there to clean up the kill and ensure that Sweeping doesn't die.
Yeah, and Sweeping was not even phased. He has flash up still. He could have walked away or flashed away. He decided that he wanted to stick around and get the kill himself, but Saucy is like, nope, I'm getting that. I'm going to carry now. And, I mean, we are going to see this Evelyn, she backed. She picked up an Aether Wisp. Is that all she's getting? And, oh, no, that is not all she's getting. She's getting an Aether Wisp with Stalker's Blade and an Amp Tome, actually.
And refillable and control, I think. I think, all of this was off the last back, so...
This Evelyn is going to have so much pressure all over the map right now. I think she already had the Aether Wisp when she backed. She had it before. So, this Evelyn actually is a huge threat right now. And Saucy has shown he can definitely run through the early game. Right now, it's going to be Saucy just using his lead and translating that into lanes and getting everyone else ahead as well. And then LNG is going to have to look to keep their leads and then close out the game safely. So it's in their ship. It's in their ship again, but ship might take it back if it's drawn out too far. So.
Yeah, but this time he's doing a lot worse in lane. He's down by 20 CS. Oh, it looks like it's going to be another kill for Sweeping Blade here. Orange is going to be enough to keep him alive for now, but that means he's zoned off farm pretty much forever unless he backs.
Yeah, and we were very critical about the pick, honestly, of the Jace and leaving up the GP. But he's actually doing really well. Getting a gank from Saucy, although did he really need it? He might have lost the 1v1 without it.
I think he would have died. Oh, yeah. But it looks like Rookie is going to try counter jungling red here. I thought it was initially going to be a top gank, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, and Saucy is not really... took Raptors, I believe. Did steal the Raptors, but Raptors for red buff is not a trade you really want to take.
Yeah, not really, but you know, we'll see how this goes.
I'm not too sure if Rookie knew that Saucy was on the bot side. Did Rookie have, like
I
100%
didn't see
knowledge?
any vision.
Yeah, well, that's if Rookie did have knowledge of Saucy and was like Saucy's bot side, I'm gonna go take the red buff. That's really smart. But if Rookie didn't have vision, then we can make like the assumption that Rookie just does not care where Saucy is and just wants to play super aggressively and even maybe try to duel the Evelyn, which I think
Can
is really
Warwick
risky.
beat Evelyn is the question. I think at level 6, definitely.
Yes, but Saucy is very ahead as well.
That's true.
So Saucy does have a level lead right now, as well as an item lead. So at this point, possibly not. Warwick and Evelyn, if they're both even, I would say yes, it goes in favor of Warwick. Right now, though, it might not. And Saucy might try to get a gank up in the top lane.
Sykes eating a tower shot there. Well, I think it would be just kind of a skill matchup because there's not much Evelyn can do.
Skill matchup, Evelyn versus Warwick.
Yeah, it's entirely on the skill
slap
of
the other
Warwick.
one harder.
Well, it's entirely on the skill of the Warwick because with your E and your ultimate, you can do a lot of outplays, but without it... Oh, Saucy gonna go in there. Ship is level 5 here. That's worth noting as Castide getting gone on here. Katsuo missing the shadow over the wall. That is mighty unfortunate. As Sykes spell shields a little too late. That was just... It was a little bit sloppy. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, just leave it there. And I mean... You have to look, though. You have 2 assassins on the side of LNG against the triple exhaust from DBJ. They have a lead right now, but they need to keep pushing it, and they need to get more and try to close out soon.
Oh, wow.
Because... Oh, okay.
Castide doing a little bit less than I thought.
Those Gangplank barrels.
Yeah,
Ship is really good with those barrels.
They chunk a little bit, but at the same time, anything from Sweeping Blade can chunk as well. Oh, wow, missing everything and still going on. Oh, looks like Rookie Jungler gets the Infinite Duress onto Hunt. Hunt has to flash away from it, so good gank. Showing that he is infinitely
We see Saucy, though,
me.
coming down to counter gank. If they bait them in and play aggressively, they could actually get a kill or two here. Saucy's so strong.
Oh, but Hunt gonna barely miss the Solar Flare. Great flash over the wall there by Alpha Heretic, though.
Oh.
They might still fight it. I don't know if this is the right idea because Rookie doesn't have ultimate, but Saucy does.
CDN is right there, though.
This could turn into a 4v4. This would be a great pincer, but Katsuo is just going to get caught out and probably going to go down here. Ace in the hole coming out as well as the Frozen Tomb from Lissandra. Flashing away from the Q from Lissandra. Is Katsuo going to get a out? Oh, no. The Gangplank ultimate, just enough.
Yeah, and that actually is really important because this Gangplank is down 50 CS. He's down, what, 800 gold right now? And that's after the kill. That kill gold is going to help him a lot and possibly what he needs to get back in this lane. He's still down, definitely, but he might actually be able to stand up and possibly even get a kill against Sweeping Blade if he can get that back and get items.
And it looks like this could be first tower here for DBJ. So if it goes through, then suddenly...
This gold lead is neutralized.
Yeah.
Both teams are even in gold, and I mean... While, yes, the Jace is still ahead in gold over the GP, you know, even though the Jace was ahead earlier, the GP was still doing okay. And now the lead is even smaller. So it's possible that, you know, this is what Ship needed to get back in.
Well, I don't know if I'd consider 50 CS down at any point to be necessarily okay, but yeah.
No, but it's still not as bad now that he has a turret gold plus the kill gold that he got.
Which is mighty unfortunate for Sweeping Blade here, because he's been trying his darndest. Oh, the Phantom Barrel.
Ship is really good with his barrel combos, actually. If I play GP, I just miss everything.
Oh, jeez. Rookie gonna get the fear down onto Hunt. Not gonna go for the ultimate, it looks like. Yeah, I tried Warwick after the rework, and then I couldn't get the Q to work properly, and I couldn't hit the ult, and I haven't played it since.
Yeah, the Warwick Q feels really weird. Rookie has been doing pretty well so far with the Warwick, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Showing that, I mean, Rookie plays Warwick and Ivern, and the Ivern looked pretty decent. And
Oh.
the Warwick, everything that I've seen is, oh, my top
Oh,
lane.
knocking him into Saucy. Flash going to come out from both top laners. So that was the beginnings of a cute play. But never quite materialized into what they had been planning. I think sweeping went in a little bit too early there is the problem.
Oh.
Cannon Barrage coming out. Only one wave going to hit sweeping, though. But now that they know that Saucy was top lane, DBJ can feel free to take this dragon, and there's not a whole lot that LNG can do to contest it, but it looks like they might get their bot lane pincered here. Sykes, I don't know about that, buddy. Sykes gonna use the
They
spell
need to
shield.
finish this.
Teleport coming in
Smite.
by Sweeping Blade. Sweeping Blade might be able to take out Rookie Jungler here. The Zenith Blade going down, and it looks like CDN is going to get caught up here by the Leona stuns. Going to be taken out. Zed going in on the backline. Katsuo almost taking out Alpha Heretic. Alpha Heretic getting incredibly low. Blast Plant going to save him. Castade going to go down as well. They might be able to take the mid lane turret off this, and that would make that
was
a decent trade.
They kind of just didn't melt. The Caitlyn wasn't there DPSing down the dragon, so they didn't do it fast enough. And that allowed enough time for everyone on the side of LNG to come over and get the Drake. And I mean, they're fighting over a Cloud Drake. Like, they didn't even, like, they got the Cloud Drake, yeah, but it's a Cloud Drake. They lost the fight, they give up more kills, and then they give up a tower, too. 2 towers, actually. Correction.
Yeah,
and I mean,
I
swing.
don't know how I feel about that second tower. I feel like that was a little risky because Sykes didn't have ultimate, but I guess it worked out, so...
I mean, they got away with it, and you know, DBJ didn't get away with the Cloud Drake, so
No, not by any stretch of the
that's how you get
imagination.
away with something greedy. The Cloud Drake play was not how you get away with something greedy.
Oh, so close. Blade doing his best to steal away that blue buff, but off by 23 damage.
Yeah, and the gold lead in the top lane has gone back over to Sweeping Blade. He's 1,000 gold up now, because of all that gold from the objectives, the 2 towers that were taken. But we saw that, you know, the GP actually can still duel the Jace, even though he's like almost Flame Horizon right now.
Yep. And this Warwick build, I'm kind of questioning it a little bit. I don't know if Warrior is the right choice.
No,
Hold on. Sivir ultimate coming out here, but Karma Mantrid E is going to get... Oh, the great Solar Flare onto Alpha Heretic. Alpha Heretic getting stunned up. Deathmark going to be enough. Doesn't need to pop. In the top lane, we already saw Sweeping Blade go down. Saucy going to try and dive onto Castide. The Boomerang Blade, not quite enough to get the kill. So it was a 1-for-1 across the map.
Yeah, and it looks like there's 4 bot lane, so they're going to try to pressure for the tower, and it's most likely that they're going to get it, but it's going to actually be answered up in the top lane. So, a kill for a kill, a tower for a tower. This is in favor of the team which is behind, I would say. So I would say that this is in favor of LNG at the moment. Unless
Oh,
DBJ...
Nope.
Or sorry, it's in favor of DBJ. But yeah. Something to note though is since all the towers.
Saucy going to take out Castide here. Oh, flashing out. Not sure that was necessary. But continue with your point.
Since DBJ lost their mid towers already, we can see that they were able to LNG is able to just run through the jungle of DBJ, and now the map is open for them. Like, you can see that there's no real wards or vision from the towers anymore, so this map is just a giant death trap for anyone who walks in without vision.
Okay, so I have a question here. I'm not going crazy, right? Warwick definitely had a Caulfield's Warhammer in his inventory.
Yeah, maybe it was an accidental buy. You're right.
He was
He
out
sold
of
the
base with it.
Caulfields. And yeah, he sold the Caulfields and then bought Cinderhulk,
So he's just
which
lost
is the right
300 gold,
choice.
essentially.
It's just, yeah, the Caulfields isn't ideal. You're basically just like throwing away some of your gold. And I mean, the Evelynn already has a giant gold lead. It's 1,000 gold lead in the jungle already in favor of the Evelynn. You don't want to make it 1,300 or anything like that.
Would it have been... I feel like it would have just been smarter to sit on the Caulfields, not complete it into Warrior, because I think Warrior is still the wrong choice, but just kind of maybe sit on it, because it does give you a little bit of damage. Although Warwick deals a lot of magic damage, he does scale some off AD. Actually, I think he scales entirely off AD and does like mostly magic damage. It's like melee Corki. It's weird.
Yeah. This GP should be able to wave clear out top lane and protect his tower. Although Jace is getting a lot of damage on it. It's important though because this is the last outer turret, and it is probably the easiest turret for the side of DBJ to get. So LNG needs to be careful about how much vision they have around this, because it's very likely that if GP is here alone, he will get dove. But since he's not alone, they might actually be able to catch someone out.
Oh, Carpe
or maybe get caught out themselves.
Claw out. But it looks like Castide is stuck in his place. Oh, Carpe Diem gonna have to go down here almost. Getting stunned up here. Rookie Jungler gonna miss the ultimate, it looked like. Cannon Barrage coming down onto 4. Saucy getting incredibly low in the backlines, and it's a 1 for none. Lots of ultimates blown there, lots of summoners, but Cannon Barrage not as effective as it has been before. Getting everyone low, but not enough to kill.
Yeah, and Rookie Jungler kind of just flying in, saving CDN, but I mean, oh gosh, I don't know. Hunt had a really good solar flare. I'm not sure if you caught it, but it was a really nice solar flare onto CDN to force this whole kind of weird engage. And at this point, what needs to happen is Karma just needs to speed up whoever's, caught. And just, you guys just need to, or they just need to try to peel out.
Coming down, as well as the Shield of Daybreak. Castide gonna get taken out there. The stun just long enough for Sweeping Blade to do some damage. And their strategy is working well here for LNG.
I mean, it's not that GP is not doing well. It's just he's not hard carrying, which is kind of what happened and what they need right now. Well, and again, the bot lane from DBJ is kind of just kind of not doing as much as LNG's is.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong on this point, but first of all, I don't know. I guess Lissandra's building a death cap, or not death cap, Zonia's, and it builds out of 2 cloth armors. I thought it was just 1. But anyways, we have this gangplank up in the top lane from O-Ship, which should be, if they win the lane, kind of dominating in team fights. But Jace primarily split pushes. So if you can beat the GP in a split push, you can sort of just lock him into the lane for everything except Cannon Barrage.
Here's the thing. If GP split pushes against the Jace, he needs to be able to kill Jace while he's TPing, because he has no way to cancel.
Oh my Engage lord. Coming out. Rookie Jungler gonna get onto Sykes there with the ultimate Infinite Duress, and Rookie Jungler gonna get taken out as Carpe Diem is gonna try and take the claw out, but it wasn't enough. Saucy getting a hate spike down, skillfully pressing Q.
And I mean, while we were talking about split pushes and everything, there was just this crazy, pincer going on in the mid lane, and 2 members getting caught out and dying, including the jungler, which means no smite. So they are pretty squishy, and it is really early. So this is a little risky.
This Cannon Barrage is going to eat him up. Sykes getting incredibly low
Sivir's
here.
just standing in it.
So is Saucy. Sweeping Blade is going to get low here on the backlines. It looks like they're going to have to turn from this. All right, they took it, but someone's going to have to flash out probably. Alpha Heretic getting the Zenith Blade down, even despite getting the 90 caliber net. Katsuo flashing out. That was almost stylish. Saucy.
They don't see Evelyn in the back of the pit. No! Saucy. They don't know he's there.
Saucy the god. Rookie Jungler.
My gosh, Saucy.
Man. The blood sense
just sitting in the back of the pit. They don't know where the Evelyn is.
It is rare to feel the kind of panic that Saucy just felt.
And I mean,
Did your League client just freeze?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
we're back.
All
right, continue.
All right. I mean, honestly, if DBJ just walked up more there, they probably could have killed the Baron and gotten all 5 members even sooner. And I mean, last game we saw this too. Maybe there is an issue with the game.
It's certainly a possibility.
Pause coming out. I will check the chat and see what they're saying.
I heard sound effects for a little bit. Let's
Caitlyn is having lag issues apparently. Oh no, never. Yeah, Caitlyn is having lag issues, so gonna probably just get the Caitlyn to reconnect or something. Um, I wanna just I don't know. This Lissandra pick against the Zed should be doing really well, but is kind of just not showing up as much as we thought it would.
Well, the reason for that, again, correct me if I'm wrong, as I often am. So the Lissandra pick is great because the Frozen Tomb can stop Zed after the ult from doing more damage, or if it goes down onto Lissandra, you can just ult yourself, get the damage of the ult anyways, and get a heal out. So that's great. But the problem is Katsuo never has to ult the Lissandra because CDN has been getting caught out. He's been caught out a few times and has to force the ultimate on himself to stop the stuns from Hunt or to stop the damage from Sweeping Blade. So he doesn't have this ultimate. I haven't seen exhaust go down onto Katsuo enough to matter as well. I'm sure it's gone out, but I've never seen a situation where I was like, oh, Katsuo could have gotten the kill if he hadn't been exhausted. I'm sure it's happened and I just haven't noticed, but CDN keeps dying. Is the problem. It's only been twice, yes, but that's twice that if the ultimate had been up, you could have possibly turned the entire fight, and then your team wouldn't be down, 3k gold and a dragon. Well, even in dragons.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 exhaust, and there's 2 really big targets for exhaust, the Evelynn and the Zed, right? I mean, Sivir and Jace, you might also want to exhaust them, but they're not going to be as close as the 2 melee assassins, and the Evelynn is honestly the bigger threat at the moment, as she doesn't really have as many skill shots as the Zed. She has her ultimate is the only skill shot really. Everything else is either targeted or Evelynn Q is randomized. Yeah, RNG abilities in League of Legends. But honestly, that Evelynn just runs in there, just does insane damage. So if the Zed is ulted, then the Evelynn will if the Zed is exhaust, the Evelynn will just run in there and kill them all. If the Evelynn is exhaust, Zed will run in there and kill them all. They need to make sure they coordinate their exhausts, have at least 2 exhausts up in the beginning of the fight, if they want to take a fight. And then also, they need to make sure that Karma is protecting whoever is near the target that isn't ulted by Lissandra. There just needs to be a lot of coordination against the double assassin picks right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that coordination has been pretty decent, but I mean, their team fighting has been really good. Sorry, not really good. It's been kind of lackluster, but they have been finding good opportunities. They, again, got they won the fight at the Baron, said this is an opportunity for us, let's do it. They're saying, okay, we can't fight them, let's trade a tower for a tower, and, just make the gold lead a little, little less valuable. And it looks like DBZ is looking to make another comeback this game. They're not nearly as ahead as last game, but they're not, gonna get run over as, was happening early game this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Gangplank has been catching up a little bit. I'm not sure how I feel about the Black Cleaver second on Jace. I mean, I know it gives armor shred, but there's nothing really tanky yet for the side of DBJ, so I'm not sure if that was necessarily the correct itemization. Am I missing something?
Sorry, I missed what you said. What did you say?
Well, the Phage passive is great from the Black Cleaver, but there's no tanks yet.
It might be a Triforce, honestly. I mean, Warwick does like to get one of those 2 items, either Triforce or Black Cleaver. And the Phage passive, giving the bonus movement speed, is actually really valuable on the Warwick, as he likes to auto-attack and chase down targets. I do think that Warwick should have upgraded boots at this point, though, for the movement speed. Or at least soon, after his next item. Because, I mean, there's a lot of auto-attackers, so Ninja Tabby could be a viable choice, or just the Merc Treads for the anti-CC. But the movement speed from upgraded boots would be really useful to the Warwick right now, and not having that means that Warwick really can't chase down any targets, just slap people that are walking by.
Yeah, but it's we'll have to see how this goes. Oh, are we gonna get the unpause? We see the cooldowns ticking down and then not ticking down and ticking down again. So, okay, we're finally back during this non-existent mid lane push from DBJ. So we see Saucy and Co. trying to clean out the mid lane a little bit. Where should they be going at this point? Should they just be picking a lane and running it down? Should they be having Sweeping Blade push the top lane and then they pick bot or something?
Well, the next objective that will be up is the Infernal Drake. So right now they need to send DBZ or DBJ. Oh my, I can't even see the tags. I have to do it off memory. DBJ is in the top. Needs to send Jason in the top lane, and then everyone else group and split bot lane to try to get the bot inner turret because there are no more mid lane turrets. So they want to shove in a minion wave and have minions just push mid, then group bot lane. So right here, Katsuo needs to clear this out, head bot lane, group up with the team. I mean, they could do maybe like a 1-1-3. That seems really odd. A 1-3-1 would probably be better.
Mm-hmm.
And this Zed in the mid lane by himself is just too vulnerable. So the Zed needs to group up with his team, or the team needs to group mid and Zed needs to go bot lane. I think doing a 1-1-3 is a little bit awkward and puts the person who's solo mid too much at a risk.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to change it to a 2-0-3. But
Yeah.
nothing kind of solid coming out here. There's so much wave clear on both teams at this point, but primarily just DBJ has so much wave clear, especially in the top lane. There's not a whole lot that you can do as a Jace versus Gangplank when you're trying to shove in waves. When you're trying to fight, yes, you can win, you can kill him, and then you can shove. But when you're just shoving, you can just, as GP, you can crit barrel, and that's the end of it. You're done.
Yeah. Rookie jungler missing
Rookie missing just barely. So Saucy's gonna get out here. So that's one cooldown down, but I'm not sure how much it matters necessarily because I
Infinite Dress is really important.
Well, I don't see another fight happening here soon. Was my point, but perhaps I could be predicting wrong.
It's quite likely that, at the very least, DBJ is just going to be allowed to just push out bot lane and not get pressured from a Warwick ult anymore. And they're not going to go for the tower here. I thought Caitlyn was going to, or Sivir was going to walk up and try to get it, but she's not. And this is honestly just kind of a stalemate right now where they need to try to look for an opportunity. And it looks like Saucy is probably finding it right here.
Yeah, they're just getting.
They force him off the turret, though. They're not hitting it, though. Hit the turret. No, they're not getting it. Oh, no.
I mean, they were, but there's only so much you can do while backdoor protection is on.
No more minions left.
Ricochet hitting off a Heretic pretty hard.
Yeah, Hunt got chunked out really low. But his positioning is still a bit off. He should be positioning at least nearby the Sivir if he's low. He's standing like 2 paces behind Sivir. Basically, his range is where if anyone is in melee range of Sivir, which is not what you want to do, is that you're not going to really be able to make any picks or peel that well as in that position.
Sweeping Blade is actually like losing the split push here in the top lane, which is really unfortunate for LNG because that's sort of the linchpin on which their current strategy.
But now this Infernal Drake is going to be really important. So DBJ should either get this for free or LNG is going to want to fight, but it looks like they're just going to give it up.
Yep, LNG
and
getting
Infernal
the
Drake
here.
Yeah, the most valuable Drake by far, and a really good pickup. And that's why they had the split push bot lane and not in the top lane. Now that the Drake is down, Baron will actually be the next neutral objective up. So they're going to want to send the majority top lane right now and send the Jace with the teleport in the bot lane. They're actually grouping as 5, and GP is recalling right now.
He would have liked to see the tower. So
yeah, but I would have liked to see GP keeping up the split push because if he was, they'd have to send sweeping back, or like sweeping would have to waste teleport to stop him.
The VOD froze again.
Yeah, same for me.
Right.
There we go.
There we go. They finally got the tower, and they just lost, most of their health. I'm bad at this game. I'll freely admit to it, but I know just based on gut feeling that what they're doing right now is not the most efficient way to go about this, because you should not be taking most of your health from tower hits when trying to push a tower. Like, that just feels like there's no way that's the proper play. And another pause.
Okay, yeah.
Incredibly exciting here, everyone. Learning fives, learning from the best. Even the production team is learning here, and we're trying to model this broadcast after IEM, and
Oh
I think
my.
we're doing a pretty good job so far. I mean, we don't have a Learning 5 CS:GO cast, so we can't get the audio from them to mysteriously show up on our stream. But I think other than that, we've done a pretty good job. Maybe we could get, some cheers from like another studio coming in, or we
Maybe
can
it's
delay the
some-
game another hour. I think would sort of
Oh,
show that we're
you're
doing
taking
our best.
some real shots at IEM. I mean, international events. I think that it's really nice that they're actually like there's at least someone else doing international events besides Riot.
I mean, yeah, but if
I'd like to
if
see
it
some
weren't done
like
so
better
poorly.
competition going. I mean, one of the like lowest ranking LCK teams plus no NA teams going. I mean, I don't know. A lot of teams are asking for more international competition, but so many teams decline to go to IDM. And I mean, while yes, their production isn't great, it still gives you an experience to scrim against international teams as well as play on an international stage. So
I feel like for a lot of them, it's just either it's at a bad time or it just doesn't seem like it would be a benefit because there's only, there's
yeah,
only
there
so
isn't
much
much
you
to
can
gain
learn
from
by
it.
playing the bottom team of Korea, versus staying in house.
Yeah, I mean, it only works really if all the team, like all the regions, send at least like the top half of their ladder, a top 5 team. When you're sending the bottom 2 Korean teams, or just EU sending their whole team, all EU teams,
Yeah, it's like
it's not really that great of an international event, but it's still interesting to watch at the very least.
it
Enough
certainly
about
can be.
IEM though. This is Learning Fives, and that is what we are casting.
Theoretically, we're mostly casting pauses at this point, but you know what? It'll come back to the learning eventually. It's cyclical, Evelyn here looks like I'm gonna take a wild guess and say Deadman's because that's what you build.
Yeah, Deadman's on Evelyn is pretty good. It allows her to just run up and then slap a target. Deadman's actually does come with a slow, I believe, when you are fully
Once you have
stacked
fully
up.
charged.
So that will allow her until, if she's not getting rivalized or if she's not getting it soon yet, it'll have a slow in the meantime. So it'll let her stick to a target better. Also, Gunblade comes with a slow, I believe. But
Yep, it does. Rookie Jungler gonna get the fear off here. Zenith Blade gonna
Oh.
come in from Hunt. And it looks like they're trying to disengage here for the side of DBJ.
that was actually good for DB.
Oh! The whiffed Infinite Duress.
Oh. Okay,
Oh,
well that
okay. Zenith Blade over the wall from Hunt. I'm not
Eh.
quite sure what's going on. Triple
well
barrel
Warwick
coming
is stuck
out.
here right now.
But that means barrels are
flashing
down.
out. Okay. That
Okay.
was good for DBJ, but then the Warwick ulti missing kind of makes it not great. They got the free on the Hunt. Now the Baron is up though. They want the vision control, but there are wards on the Baron.
CDN is
so-
going to get caught out here. Possibly going to go down. Tries to get the claw over the wall, but can't even cast it in time. A crit from Zykes over the wall. Oh. Did the shockwave go through? It looked like it did, but didn't chunk
Yeah.
quite as much as I wanted it to.
It chunked Alpha really hard. Alpha actually having to back right now allows them to just shove in the mid lane, and they're gonna be able to get at least some damage on this turret, hopefully.
The Gangplank wave clear is just so
Don't think they're
frustrating
gonna be able
watch.
to take it though. But yeah, Gangplank having an amazing wave clear. I mean, on the flip side, Sivir has amazing wave clear, but wave clear isn't nearly as important when you're on the attacking side.
Yeah.
As a defender, the wave clear is so valuable, and we see that Ship is really good with his barrels, and he's wave clearing really well.
Well, like we were saying, what they have to do in fights is kill this Gangplank, and they have no way to do that.
And I mean, the GP, again, he's becoming a threat. He's evened out his gold lead with the top lane, so they're even in gold, while the rest of his team is behind. So, I mean, again, the GP might be what wins the game, just himself.
Yeah.
They are still behind, and there is an Infernal on the side of DBJ.
Oh, looks like they're
Or sorry,
trying to catch CDM
LNG,
here.
but-
Oh, Sweeping Blade jumping on the wrong target. Sweeping Blade gets caught up by the Frozen Tomb here, and Infinite Duress going to go down onto him. Redemption going to be enough to save his life. That's 2
How did
ultimates
he get
burned. for
out of the
DBJ.
Infinite Duress.
This is getting... Oh, Alpha Heretic getting chunked out, though. This is starting to get a little slow here. Sweeping Blade looks like he's TPing in from base. Syke's gonna take a lot of damage there from the single Q of CDN.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh
boy. He's fine. They need to keep pressure in multiple lanes. The problem is the top lane is pushing in favor of DBJ. So.
Sweeping just recalled and TP'd in, right?
Yeah. He should have gone top first, I think.
Yeah, he should have just pushed out top lane, shoved it out, and then he could have. Right now, this is what needed to happen. They need to just recall, shove out top lane, and then Elder. This is not Elder actually. This is an Infernal Drake. So that is good, but they need to send one person top lane to clear it out, and then just the minions will push by themselves. Then they could send the Jace in the bot lane, and then everyone else group mid. That way they can't pressure Baron. So they could have an 0-4-1 push. They don't concede the Drake, and then they can still have Baron pressure. That's the most optimal way for LNG to do their push right now.
Yep.
But they're kind of just not coordinating their split push right now. And since they wasted the Jace TP, they can't do that.
Saucy's going to be the one to go top, which means there's no smite down here for the dragon, which is coming up in 10 seconds. Saucy needs to rush bot lane. And it looks like he's deciding to hoof it down on foot.
I mean, Evelyn with the Dead Man's Plate.
Oh no! Sweeping Blade, no! Oh, he gets caught out with the Infinite Duress. The Solar Flare going to come down to stop it from rookie jungler. Sweeping Blade still getting incredibly low here. Castille going to go down here to Saucy, who got hit with the alley-oop. It looks like a Zenith Blade coming in here. Alpha Heretic getting incredibly low. Going to flash heal out.
Oh.
Saucy flashing over the wall, and it looks like Katsuo is going in with a death mark. Katsuo going to get really low here. Redemption going to save him. Oh, shit, going to get taken down here in the backlines. It looks like Hunt getting incredibly low. Going to barely die.
Oh.
Which is an awkward sentence to say, but good lord. All right, well, we have Saucy and Syke still up against just CDN, so they can shove down mid because CDN's wave clear, while decent, is not going to be enough to stop Sivir and Saucy because Saucy can just dive in. He's 7-0-4.
Yeah, looks like they're just going to back up and get the dragon. This is a safe, smart play. I like this. They potentially could have maybe two-banned the Baron, although that's getting really risky, and probably could have been another throw right there. So I like that they go for the Infernal Drake. All the lanes are pushing out though, and since it doesn't, since they're kind of just resetting right now, DBJ is just gonna grab those giant beefy minion waves, and that's gonna be more gold in their pocket. And then it's gonna make it so LNG has to set up, and then reset the waves. So this is kind of just stalled out right now. It's going to be a little bit slow, most likely, for the next minute or so. It's kind of just up to LNG to coordinate a push right now. And it looks like top lane turret is the best objective for them to push for. So they should be grouping top right now.
Katsuo possibly going to get it. Gets the Death Mark down. The 90 caliber net isn't going to actually stop Katsuo. Death Mark going to take out Alpha Heretic. And now suddenly LNG has a way to play around the map again.
Yeah. LNG should just be able to grab whatever they want, and they could
force Baron.
DBJ is stuck in their base. Yeah, they could try to force a Baron right now. Caitlyn is dead. Zed is bot lane though. That's the issue. But now so is GP. It would be a 3v2. Sorry, a 4v3. But the Caitlyn death timer is ticking down. They need to do something soon if they want to get something.
If they're gonna go in, they need to do it now.
They're just sitting in the bush.
Yep, they're clearing out top lane though, so maybe they're trying to set up a minion wave situation where...
Are they gonna go for it now? The ping on the Baron.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest now that the minion waves are
but
at least looking
Caitlyn
like
is respawned now, and... Oh,
she's not
they're
gonna
melting it down.
It's gonna go down incredibly fast. Cannon Barrage coming out. They're not going to die just yet. They need to run out now. Redemption going to try and save them. How long until this debuff is down? The debuff from Baron did just drop off, so they're about even in a fight now. Actually, LNG would have an advantage because of the Baron buff.
Yeah, and they were taking their time with the Baron. They could have done it sooner, but still getting it in the end. Nice pickup, and now they can shove down.
This should be 1-3-1-ing here, I think.
Yeah, Jace has TP up in a few seconds. Jace should be splitting away with the teleport up.
Wall of traps coming out here from Caitlyn. So, I mean,
Yeah, they can't really... I mean, they're getting it slowly. The minions are chipping away at it.
It's the cannon minions that are doing the heavy lifting.
They're not
here.
even able to defend their own cannon minions. And Evelynn up in the top lane by herself might pick up the turret.
Well, the goal here is just to apply pressure, because the moment that LNG applies enough pressure that DBJ messes up, they just win. Or they get something. Ooh, Sweeping Blade gonna catch out CDN here. No one was expecting that, especially not me. It looks like the Shield of Daybreak gonna go down onto Rookie Jungler. Rookie Jungler gonna get the Infinite Duress. Sweeping Blade gonna have to flash out. Alpha Heretic getting low here. Saucy might not be able to take it out. Exhaust gonna go down onto Saucy, stopping him from taking Alpha Heretic. And it looks like Oh Ship is gonna try and take out Sykes. The Zenith Blade barely missing. So that was a disaster, but meanwhile in the bot lane, Katsuo is going to try and get this tower.
Yeah,
and he finally
gets
his
tower. They get 2 towers for their efforts, but they lose 3 barons. So that's kind of going to be the end of this push, unless Sivir's going to go for mid lane, but that's risky. And Oh Ship, using the barrels really well again, getting a nice triple barrel combo. It was blocked by Sykes, but those... Honestly, it's really impressive how good he is with those barrels.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the trade was good, though. Because you do lose in terms of gold, but when you're having this much trouble sieging...
Yeah, they've cracked open an inhib turret, so that means that there's an open inhib now, which is a lot easier to siege down than an inhib turret. And...
Ship is
but
almost
this game
6 items.
Is stalled out, yeah. Ship is getting almost full build. He's actually ahead in gold compared to the Jace.
Mm-hmm.
And this game, it's basically whoever wins the next fight, really. I mean, if someone wins a fight, 5v5, and they get enough kills and have enough of their members left, they can just run it down the enemy team's base and win. The death timers are late enough that one fight could decide this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like the Lissandra build coming out here, at least the Proto Belt. I don't know. I don't feel like it was ever helpful at any point, because if you're just getting caught out all the time, I mean, this might be a play sort of thing, but that's, adapting to how the game's going as part of itemization. And, if you're just getting caught out and blown up, Proto Belt and Engage item is not going to be all that helpful. But
well, Proto Belt also gives Lissandra some more mobility for her. It just allows her to just like Proto Belt in and then W or Proto Belt out after she's gone in or whatever.
Oh.
The added mobility is nice on her, although you don't need mobility when you're dead.
True. Generally, it doesn't help all that much at that point.
On the hunt.
Blown up here, and it looks like they're going to try and get this inhib while Sweeping Blade pushes the mid lane. They might get both here. It doesn't look like DBJ is managing this properly. Oh, a great spell shield going to block the infinite duress. So that
Did it block it, or I don't?
It either blocked it or it expired the moment that the infinite duress was going to hit.
Oh, yeah.
It's possible that that's what happened.
Because it looked like the infinite duress wasn't even in range to hit.
Yeah, I mean that's in retrospect that's probably what happened, but the timing was close enough that I figured I'd just call it.
Yeah, well, even if the infinite duress did hit, Caitlyn does have the Mercurial. And 2 QSSs already are going to make it much harder for this Warwick to get a target. So the Warwick kind of just has to be a beefcake and just stand in front of people.
Oh, Sweeping Blade. No, I don't think you want to do that, buddy. You don't have flash anymore.
Oh, Leona just used the ult.
The zoning flare.
Oh, gosh.
So that's Elder, though. So they have a chance now. But again, their wave management is sort of like their Achilles heel.
Yeah, their split pushing has just not been coordinated. They have okay. It looks to me though as LNG has a really good early game, but their late game and their mid game, they just don't have great rotations and great split pushing. So while they do win the early game, they have won the early in both games. Last game we saw that DBJ came back incredibly strong in the mid and late game. Not nearly as strong this game, but they definitely have come back. And this is getting, risky for LNG now. If they lose this, they're donezo.
Yeah,
They're a game
but
down. They can't really make any. They can't risk like doing something like really ridiculous. They have to just try to play smart and find picks and play it slow.
I mean, the 10k gold lead is still somewhat relevant at least. So that's something going down for LNG, but at the same time, there's only so relevant a gold lead can be at this point, unless it's just absolutely
Warwick
massive.
is in a really weird position,
Well,
but
he's
it
trying to
looks
catch
like
out. They're trying to pincer Sweeping Blade here, and it looks like they're going to. Sweeping Blade going to go down here, but meanwhile on the bot lane, they almost got the inhib tower. If they don't get this inhib tower, they just lost their probably one of their strongest players. Ooh! Solar Flare coming down onto Alpha Heretic, but he still has GA, so Saucy flashing in. Not going to do the best. Oh shit, might go down here. He finally goes down. He hasn't bought GA yet. Rookie Jungler, possibly the next one to die. It looks like a death mark goes down onto Alpha Heretic, and it looks like ex Katsuo barely died there.
3 for 3 in the end.
But at this
Honestly,
point, I
a
think
little
they
bit
can
of a
take this.
misplay from the side of DBJ when they got their lead. And Alpha Heretic still has his heal. I don't know if just was gonna die anyways, but not
Well,
using it to live.
Possibly, because Deathmark was on.
Was it? I didn't see exactly what happened. But Caitlyn, even though she has GA, dying anyways. And I mean that GA buy. I don't know if I completely agree with it. Maybe last item, yes, but she kind of just needs the DPS right now. I mean, maybe she thinks, okay, I'm just gonna be a bait, and then oh ship can do all the damage. But
But that didn't work out very well
losing
because
3
while the
members
GA,
and an inhib, it looked like they were gonna win that too because they got the kill on Jace. They just needed to buy time,
yeah.
but then they
Oh,
lose the
Hunt.
fight immediately afterwards. 5v4, they just and now Baron. I mean,
That was
that
some
was
smart
their
positioning
chance.
from Hunt. I gotta say.
In the team fights, in the last one, he played it decently well.
Oh no, I'm
but-
just talking about the Baron
oh.
there because he almost died,
Oh,
and then he had
I-
to like position so that Baron wouldn't aggro and the spikes wouldn't kill him.
yeah.
Which-
I actually wanted to mention that though. His positioning, I mentioned it a little earlier, how he was standing really far behind the Sivir. In these team fights, I see him kind of just standing in his back line as Leona. He is the primary front line of this team. He's the only real tank.
He's also the
And-
only peel though, is the problem. Oh,
Yeah,
Sweeping Blade
but-
possibly going to go down here again. Might be able to take down Oh Ship. Has to flash away from Castiel, but that's a dedication of 3 members for nothing. Well, for a flash.
Yeah, and
Saucy pushing in the bot lane.
these Baroned up super minions are super tanky, and Rookie's having some trouble clearing these minions out. Although, once his team is here, clear it out, no problem.
Oh.
But team is here, not
Oh,
mid lane.
Zenith Blade going
Mid
down
goes
onto CDN. CDN getting immediately blown up. Rookie going into the back line. Katsuo going to go down. Rookie possibly going to go down as well. I think he has GA, though. He does have it. Sweeping Blade did as well. They're going to have to remember that Rookie is up. They didn't remember. Sweeping Blade barely surviving thanks to the heal from Sykes. And it looks like they could end now. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. It's a gangplank.
Against the Baroned up super minion, I don't know if Gangplank has enough wave clear.
But
Oh,
if Blade
wait,
eats a
sweeping is
single barrel, he
backing?
dies. Is the risk there? Oh, Blade almost dying. But Oh Ship is
Okay.
kept in base by
They
Saucy
can
at
end
this
here. They
point.
can end, but they have to be careful.
They have to play it very well, and it looks
But
like
it
they're
looks
going to
like
be
they
able
will.
to take down the Nexus here. So it's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, and we will be going to a game 3, and we saw that the Gangplank was really big, but not strong enough. And Saucy on the Evelyn, yet again, doing incredibly well, and this time doing enough to push his team over the edge to end out the game.
I think they just need to ban the Gangplank because they won this, but they didn't win it because of
Super
their picks. They
convincingly,
won it
and-
despite the Gangplank.
Yeah, I think the Gangplank ban needs to be done for game 3, but I'm excited. This has become a very, very exciting competitive series.
Yeah, showing good adaptations here, but we'll have to see in game 3 how it goes. They'll be switching sides again, so LNG will be back on the blue side. So we'll be back in probably about 5 or 10 minutes with that. See you then. Alrighty, welcome back everybody to Game 3 of Los Ninos Gatti versus Don't Ban Jhin. On the blue side, we have LNG, and on the red side, we have DBJ. Sorry, I just realized
These
that I have to
acronyms
update
are-
all the scores and stuff because I forgot in the intervening time. So you can
Yeah.
take over for a little bit while I do that.
That will be done soon enough. And we do see the Darius and Gangplank bans coming out finally. So O-Ship is going to have to play something completely different and out of his champion pool, which I'm going to be interested to see how he does because he has been the primary carry for DBJ so far. So we need to see if he can perform up to par on other champions, but that opens up a lot of the other champions that were banned out before. Now, the Evelyn ban coming out from DBJ against Saucy, I actually like that because he has done incredibly well on that Evelyn.
Yeah, I also like this
And-
adaptation of using all three bans.
Don't ban Jhin. Did not ban Jhin, and actually, it's gonna get first picked. Although I don't know how I feel about that, as both players are Caitlyn mains, and Caitlyn is still up, and looks like
Oh,
Caitlyn
boy.
isn't even gonna be picked. Varus will be picked, and Zyra Varus is actually a lot of damage and a lot of poke, maybe even more so than the Caitlyn lane. Although I think that Jhin has an easier lane into the Varus. It's still not a amazing lane, but if Leona pairs up with the Jhin, they actually might have enough burst that they can just pop that Zyra before they even get poked down.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've seen Hunt be incredibly successful on it thus far. I'm hoping that both teams sort of sort out their macro issues because that last game went on,
Yeah,
unnecessarily
that last
long as a result. So that is the Leona lock-in. So we've seen this matchup, Zyra versus Leona, once before this series. And I believe that was the game where Zyra won. So, but didn't win lane, importantly. So we'll see how this goes. The second time Orianna's been picked up this series again. Zenivia has been hovered every single time, so I just don't expect it to be picked. It'd be interesting if it is, but
I doubt it. That is the jungler hovering it, and most people are picking their own champions. So it's probably going to be a jungler picked up. And CDN looking to take the Zed again. He did okay with it game 1, but Katsuo showed really strong on the Zed himself. And the Lissandra hover again. Now, CDN hasn't been putting up great numbers this game in the mid lane. Katsuo has been really solid, and I don't like the Zed into Orianna again. We saw how it went game 1. The Orianna just had enough shielding, she didn't die. And Leona's gonna buy a locket, gonna buy Face of the Mountain. I don't know if I really care for it that much.
yeah. Iron
And I
coming
mean-
out again.
They have poke too. Like they have various Zyra, and then like Ivern has like range if he's on a bush. So I mean, they could siege fairly well if they had like a ranged mid laner with good wave clear. But they have a Zed.
Yeah, not necessarily known for its wave clear. Okay, that's interesting at least.
A Malphite lock in, and so this top lane is going to be completely changed up, and also the top lane is Diffraction again. So we had the substitute top laner subbed out again, so it's back to Diffraction in the top lane on
Maybe
another
they
tank,
switch based on what the draft plan is.
possibly,
'Cause we
or
saw
maybe
Diffraction
Diffraction just
play
had to go
Nautilus.
take a break.
Yeah, I don't blame him. This is
I mean, yeah, he played against the GB before. Now that that's gone, he might be able to, have a laning phase.
yeah, Elise
And-
coming out from Saucy, which is cool. I like Elise.
I don't think this is gonna happen. It's 1-1. You don't want to lose now. Urgot not notorious for his high win rate, so it's probably not going to be that.
Well, Urgot top isn't.
I mean,
terrible.
I know some people who play it, but I don't know anyone who's above gold, or sorry, above gold 5 that plays it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's some sort of secret pocket pick, but I hope it's just the troll hover.
It's probably not going to be the Urgot. Something to note though, Elise taken as well. There are 4 AP champions on the side of LNG. Only the Jhin is physical damage. If that Jhin... Galio, baby! Let's go!
Oh, no.
Oh, my. I mentioned it last game. I saw it in the champion select.